Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. In this very special Toolbox Tutorial Edition, you're going to learn how to use the Google Ads Budget Calculator. And to do that, we're going to hand it over to Jeff Sauer, the one who actually created the tool and has done lots of cool things with this amazing budget calculator. So go ahead and take it away, Jeff.
So let me show you how to use the Google Ads Budget Calculator. So here we are in the calculator. You'll notice that there are several tabs here. We have lead gen, if your primary objective is generating leads that then go to a sales team, probably higher ticket or something along those lines, or if you have e-commerce, which is you're selling directly to customers on your website. And so there's a few different options here. There's scenarios you can play, and I'm going to walk you through each of these so you can get the most out of this tool. And just while you're thinking about using this tool, one thing I want to note is that I've used this to sell Google Ads services at an agency level for over 20 years and have generated millions of dollars in annual revenue just from using this tool. And it really is a pre-sales tool that helps your potential customers or even your internal organization understand the value of advertising. But it's more important than that. It's getting everybody on the same page as to what would success look like if you are running ads, even if, things don't happen right away every day that you're matching your goals. But it says that over the course of a month, if we're doing this stuff and we're trying everything out and we're running ads, what is success? So that way, if you have a bad day or a bad week or something doesn't happen right away, you can at least show trends towards here's where we're going. The trends and patterns are this is on track. And you can say, hey, maybe this didn't work exactly how we wanted to do it on day one, but we know that if we can get our conversion rate up or if we can get our cost per click down, then we're going to be in good shape. And when you think about it, that fits really well into what we teach at Measure U in several ways. One is the measurement marketing framework. If you see that your conversion rate needs to be 3% for this to work and you're not at that level, then measurement marketing will help you determine the best way to get to that point and what steps you can take. And then the bot framework from Measure U as well. If you want to know what is the right way to get people to buy in and what is the right way to, how much traffic do we need, how do we lower our cost per click, that's what we teach on the advertising side of Measure U. So we have you covered if you want to learn how to get all these numbers in place and to optimize them. But you don't need to learn any of that and stuff to use this calculator. You can start using it right away. So you start with what your budget is. So I'm going to spend, let's say we want to spend $5,000 a month on Google Ads. We did the Google Keyword Planner, and they're telling us it's $8 a click. Maybe your history says that it's a certain amount of money. It varies. It could be $1 clicks. It could be $2 clicks. It could be $8. I've seen clicks for $50 plus. If you're at the $50 range, you have to have pretty good metrics downstream for it to work for you, but I've seen it work. Lead conversion rate. I'm putting in 2%. That's the average for the internet. Definitely use your own numbers here. And note, anything that's in gold, you can change. Okay, so anything that's in this yellow color, you can change. These ones you don't want to change because they're based on the numbers above. So if you did these numbers, you'd get 13 leads in that month. $400 would cost you per lead. Now you have your 13 leads. That would mean that and then you look at how many are qualified. If 20% are qualified, you have 2.5 qualified leads. If you have 25% of them closed, then that's 0.6 sales. So it's not even one sale a month. So you'll notice that the monthly numbers are lower than the per sale because you're not even getting one per month in this scenario. And of course, you want to play different scenarios and see what would it take for advertising to work. And it's a lot easier to make changes here, to change out the numbers and play around with it, than it is to launch an entire campaign and then be disappointed by the results. This really costs you nothing to do this. You have everything to gain, though, by figuring this out in advance of advertising. Okay, so this is the total sale value. How much did we get per sale? Now, again, if you're doing lead generation, it often usually means that you have a higher ticket sale. It doesn't mean that it's going to be $20,000. It could be $1,000. It could be $100,000. It could be $1 million, right? Ultimately, you just need to know what that number is on average. Is there any other lifetime value that comes from a customer? So I have this book called Service Stacking, and it's like if you sell a $5,000 deal, then usually the additional lifetime value is about double that, so $10,000. And in this case, it's not going to work yet, but when you add in lifetime value, it does. It is profitable, not super profitable. It's not going to make your your organization inspired by seeing a 17% return, but at least it shows you that ads could potentially work. And then if you can use the measurement marketing framework to increase your conversion rate, there it is going to get better, and it's going to get better and better. Okay, so a lot of these things, and the Google Marketplace helps with this. Google basically, a lot of the results are predicated on other people's success. And so since it's an auction-based system, people are spending $8 a click because they're getting results or seemingly getting results. And so usually these things are normalized towards how you can at least make a slight profit in advertising. And so you know that that's where these prices are anchored. And if it's anchored too high, then you're either not charging enough or you need to go after more longer tail type keywords or cheaper things. Anyway, so going forward, the margin, how much do you make off of it? So if you're, do you make 50% of the revenue goes to you and then 50% goes to the product cost? That does factor into our costs down here. If you don't really want to go to the margin, you want to calculate this thing without worrying about margin, just keep that at 100%. And that means that we won't back out the costs of your product or your service. I'm just doing 50% as a placeholder. Management fees, this is a formula. Basically, the management fees are... it's going to be either $500 or 15% of ad spend, which is a pretty standard model. So this is 15% of ad spend essentially. And then we get into the business metrics. These are all calculated for you. So on a per sale basis, you make 20 grand, obviously, because that's 20 grand per sale. It costs you about almost 20,000. You can get 8,000 in profit, but then this lifetime value makes that overall much more palatable. And that's oftentimes what it takes for advertising. You might not make the money back, or you might break even on that first sale, but multiple sales afterwards are going to give you really good results. And the higher that subsequent sale is, the better off you're going to be. So these numbers look better and better the more money you make, obviously, because there's a certain amount of, $5,000 is a fixed amount of money. It's how you get everything else that's really important. Okay, so then we get into our scenario playing. And you can see we say a $5,000 budget, 10,000, 15, 20K, 25K. And we're trying to figure out an equilibrium where what is the most amount of profit we get. In this case, it's at that $5,000 budget is where we make the most profit. But that's not always the case. And the reason why it's showing up that way right now is because you see our clicks go up as we spend more money, the cost per click. In your industry, it might actually not even be that way. It might just stay at 8 the whole time. Okay, well, if that happens, guess what? We actually have to change the scale. It's off the charts. That's how good this thing is doing, because you're getting more profit from more spend. So that cost per click is a pretty important factor here. Generally speaking, your conversion rate will go down a little bit as you spend more and as you're going after more clicks. So that might be something you need to look at and go from there. And you can see here's the chart. So in this case, when we have $9 clicks, that's where we have the most profit. The maximizing our profit. All these numbers are the same, and all these formulas sort of should update with you as you go along. If you do notice something that's funky with the formulas or that you're not sure about, please do let us know in the community, and we'll either update it or explain what's going on. And then the other part of this is e-commerce. So here we have e-commerce, and you can see we're spending $5,000 a month, same thing. This is a little bit higher cost per click. Maybe we can bring that down to our $8 a click and see that. Conversion rate, this is how many people buy from your ads directly. So they're not going through a lead generation thing. That 2.5% is actually giving you money transacting. It costs us $320 a sale. Well, that's not a big deal if we're selling a $2,000 product. We get 16 sales, and this is basically as close to printing money as you can get. So if you're like me, your radar probably goes up and says, well, is that realistic? Probably not. If this was happening, then everybody would be advertising and we all be printing money. The reality is that that's not going to be the likely case. So something's off here. Either our clicks are too high, or our conversion rate's too high, or we're in a untapped market. Okay, so or you're spending $8 a click, but this would only really work with a $500 product. So let's be realistic. It's a $500 product, and then we're doing an order bump. We're upselling somebody, and we're seeing if they take those at a smaller percentage. Now this is a little bit, this is not the money printing machine, but it's still doing pretty well in this case. So this is how you get to play your scenarios. So if I spend $5,000 and I get a 2.5% conversion rate, we're getting $35,000 in revenue. Our product cost is 50%, so that's eating into our product cost, but we are still getting a profit. And then when you add in that extra lifetime value, it's a huge profit. And that's where our return on ad spend, which is how much you spent on ads, which is for the month $5,000, goes into this $35,000. Yeah, that's about 600% above. And you can tell because 5,000 goes into 35,000 7 times, so it's 600% return on investment, and then the return on ad spend, and then the investment means you need to take the costs and the revenue, and you're still making some good money there. I think we'd all take that every time we advertise. So this is a pretty sunny scenario, which means that it's probably too good to be true. Definitely use your radar to make sure that you're not just getting into something that, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But you could work to that point, and there are people who are advertising who this is their reality, and they love advertising, and they want to put as much money in as they can because they are getting those results. And that's where this calculator comes into play here. So you can see we broke the scale again. So I'll fix that before you get the version of this thing. And you can see that there are different scenarios. In each scenario we put in there, we are raising cost per clicks a little bit. Our conversion rate goes down a little bit, and that's going to give you diminishing returns. But still, this is, sometimes you can just put more money into the market and it will make you more profitable. Like this 10K, that's making us, you can see we're making 13,000 there, or we're making 17,000, 19,000, 21. So this one's one where even though we're spending more money, it is more profitable, more gross profit to just keep on spending that money. And that's really where, if it's working really well, you want to put some fuel on it. You want to keep on spending money to make it happen. Spend money to make more money, and that's how this works. And so that is how you can use the calculator and all the components of it. Again, if you have any questions or want to know how to use it, make sure that you let us know in the community. And I look forward to hearing about your success using this as a way to get your team on the same page, a way to sell this to your customers, your potential customers, and a way to make sure that you are delivering on exactly what you want to deliver on, and what any vendor you're working with, that everybody's on the same page, that everybody's delivering upon expectations. That's really what this is all about. Again, this doesn't replace the metrics inside of Google Ads. This isn't something that you might revisit it while you're advertising, but this is something that's a pre-work tool. And then once you get to work, it's all about managing into these numbers inside the Google Ads platform. And so that's my advice to you, is to get this thing out there, figure out what would make your company happy, what would make you profitable and make things work, and then go and manage towards it using the programs that we teach you inside Measure U. And so with that said, I hope you enjoy this calculator, and let me know about your successes in using this and all these different scenarios. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
That was incredible. And if you want that tool and want to see all the other amazing tools, and you want to see what else we have to offer, go to measureu.com/workshop. And you can see the free stuff along with the more membership type stuff, and see which option fits you best. And if you have any questions, let us know. Our team is standing by to help you pick out which option is best for you. And that is it. That is how to use your Google Ads budget calculator, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.